Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Sam, or Chaotic, and welcome back to another GTA 5 video here on my channel. So far today, Rockstar has announced the next update coming out next week in GTA Online, the Doomsday Heist update. They also released an awesome trailer as well, which shows off loads of new content, vehicles, features, and much more. This update is by far going to be one of the biggest and best we ever get in GTA Online. And early today, I uploaded a video breaking down this trailer, going through everything that it showed off. There were so many things shown off in the trailer, I can assure you guys there were one or two things you didn't spot when you watched this yourselves. So if you guys haven't watched that video already, I would definitely recommend doing so. There will of course be a link in the description. But I'm sure right now there is one main question everybody wants to know the answer to. How much money are you going to need to be able to afford everything in this update? There are so many awesome things coming, it looks expensive. How much money will we need to buy these items? Well, unfortunately right now, Rockstar hasn't revealed anything just yet in the terms of prices or an official price list, but simply based upon past updates and DLCs in the game, we can make some pretty good guesses on what each of these items and vehicles will cost once released in the game next week. So let's go ahead then and get straight into things, and we'll start off with the new attack helicopter. Now, this was shown off very briefly just twice in this trailer. The first time at the very beginning in the opening scene, and it can be seen on the computer monitors, as you guys can see right now, and the second time was towards the end of the trailer, just shown flying towards the camera. Now, as I'm sure many of you guys know already, this helicopter is based upon the AH-66 Comanche from real life, which interestingly enough is one of the helicopters the Hunter that we have in game is also based upon. The Hunter is based upon two helicopters, this being one, the other being the Apache. But whereas the Hunter is a lot more similar to the Apache, this new one is pretty much identical to the Comanche. Now, a few things worth pointing out. By the looks of things, this will not have any missile launchers on it. Instead, just one machine gun turret on the front. It does have 4 seats though, 3 passengers along with you as you're flying along, but in terms of being weaponized, I don't think it'll be all that powerful. And as a result, I don't think this helicopter will be as expensive as some players might expect. We also have a name for this as well. It's actually shown off a few times in the trailer. This helicopter will be named the Akula in game. Now, I'm estimating the Akula will have a price tag of around about $2.5 million, maybe a little less if there is a trade price, bringing it under $2 million to buy. Now, the Akula is one of 2 helicopters releasing with the Doomsday Heist update, the other one being this. Now, unfortunately, as of yet, we haven't got an official name for this, but it is of course based upon the Osprey from real life. And they're remarkably similar as well. And you might be able to spot in this screenshot, there is a turret on the front as well, presumably controlled by the passenger that sits alongside the pilot. But again, this helicopter doesn't look all that powerful in terms of its weaponization. Apart from that small machine gun turret on the front, I can't see any other weapons located on it anywhere. So unless this thing drops bombs, I don't think it'll be all that useful in the terms of its weaponization. And again, as a result, I can't imagine this thing will cost quite as much as you might expect. I'm estimating somewhere around about $4 to $5 million for the buy it now price, with a trade price somewhere around about $3 to $3.5 million. Anyway, so let's move on then to the next vehicle, and up next we have this. Now again, unfortunately we haven't got an official in-game name for this just yet, but it does appear to be based upon the Russian BM-30 Smerch ballistic missile launcher. It looks absolutely awesome, if I may say so myself. It is definitely going to be one of my favourite new vehicles when it's released next week, and I can see this thing will also be extremely overpowered when it comes to taking out helicopters and aircrafts in-game as well. I also think this thing will be bigger and better than the APC that we have in-game, and the APC's buy it now price is just over $3 million, so this thing will definitely be more expensive. It wouldn't surprise me if it costs upwards of $4 million, maybe even more, and that's before the upgrades and customizations. Moving on though to the new tank. Now, Rockstar only showed this off for a few brief seconds in the trailer, but we saw enough to know this thing is going to be super cool once available. And at last, for the first time in the last 4 years, Rockstar is finally giving us an alternative to the only other tank available in game, that being the Rhino. Now, I could be wrong with this one, but I'm pretty sure the tank is based upon the PL-1 concept, which is a Polish tank. You guys can see straight away in this image, they are fairly similar from what we've seen so far in the trailer. It certainly has a very cool futuristic look, I'm just hoping it's not all for show. Either way, this tank will be expensive, there is no doubt about that. I know in game the Rhino Tank is only $1.5 million, and you might question, if Rockstar makes this that much more expensive, why would you buy it? Well, for starters, the Rhino was in-game when GTA 5 was first released 4 years ago, and prices in-game have changed a lot since then with new DLC vehicles, so this immediately will be a lot more expensive. Plus, I'd imagine this thing will be storable. I'm not so sure about our personal garages, but I'd imagine Rockstar will give us a special warehouse for these new vehicles, whereas the Rhino in-game is a Pegasus vehicle. But importantly, as for its price, I predict this new tank will have a price between $4 and $5 million. Now, I hope you guys have loads of money saved up in-game for this next update. If you don't, get saving now. You've only got a few days left, because you'll want to buy this next vehicle once it's released. This, of course, being the Delorean, heavily based upon the Delorean featured in Back to the Future, and this one in-game will have the ability to fly and fire missiles. And who knows, as a reference to Back to the Future, when you get to 88 miles an hour, this thing might have a special ability. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one, because Rockstar haven't mentioned or teased anything in the trailer or on the newswire about that just yet. Now, in case you guys didn't know, the Delorean actually featured in GTA Vice City, and it was known as the Deluxo. Well, Rockstar have also named the Delorean in GTA 5 the Imponte Deluxo. But I predict this could be the most expensive vehicle we get in this update. The fact that it can fly and fires missiles suggests this will be one of the most special vehicles we have in GTA Online, so I'm predicting it will cost around about $6 million to buy it now. There might be a slightly cheaper trade price, maybe around about the $4.5 to $5 million price range, but it will be expensive either way. Moving on though to a car which is also a submersible. Now, of course, earlier this year when Rockstar released the Ardent with gunrunning, it was speculated the Ardent would also be a submersible like this one, but unfortunately it wasn't. It was a huge letdown, and who knows, maybe because of that, Rockstar have now added this into the game, a car which is also a submersible, of course inspired and based upon the Lotus Esprit featured in James Bond. Now, although the Ardent is heavily based upon the Lotus Esprit, this new submersible is fairly similar, and can be seen in a second section of the trailer, this one right by here, where we have Lester, the female agent, and Agent 14. And behind them, as you can see, there is a white car, which at first I thought was completely different, but as you can see, it is white and has the black line going down it, just like the submersible we see later on in the trailer, and like the Lotus Esprit that I showed off in the image a few moments ago. Let's continue on though to the next one, this being a new armored 6x6 truck. Now, in fairness, this also looks pretty cool. Like I said, it has 6 wheels with 2 axles on the back. And at first I wasn't really too sure what this thing was based upon. I thought maybe some form of military truck, possibly a SWAT van, something along those lines. And after searching around, I found this. In fairness, it looks pretty similar, and basically this is a custom-built Colombian riot van, and it's named the Tanqueta. And in case you didn't think this thing looked similar enough, take a look at this side-on view that we saw in the trailer. On the roof, we have what appears to be the same water hoses or jets that we saw in the image which I just showed you guys a few moments ago. So this thing might actually have the ability to fire water from it as well, but I'd imagine those will be controllable by the passengers and not so much the driver. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Either way, an awesome looking vehicle, but as a result, it will be expensive. I'm estimating this new truck will cost anywhere from $2 to $3 million, all depending on what customizations and upgrades this thing has from standard. If it doesn't have those water hoses, it will definitely be a little bit cheaper, but if they are available from standard, it will definitely be on the higher end of that estimation. Moving on to vehicle number 8, this being a pickup truck with monster truck wheels. They aren't quite as big as the ones on the Liberator and on the Marshall that we have in-game. They're probably about half the size, but nevertheless, very cool wheels, and overall, a very cool looking vehicle as well. And as you can see, by the looks of things, on the roof, we have 2 separate turrets, one on the front and one on the back, both being operated in this screenshot. Now, I'd imagine this thing would also be pretty expensive. I'm estimating around about $2 to $2.5 million. As for the vehicle that it's based upon, I'm not really 100% sure. The closest thing I could find online was a trophy truck, this one right here, which I believe is the Hoonigan Chevy Silverado. But if you guys know of anything in real life a lot more similar to the one that's shown off in the trailer, of course let me know by leaving a comment. Despite releasing a load of planes with the last update, Rockstar's releasing yet another plane with this one. I believe it's based upon the Vulcan Bomber in real life. Here is an image of that. You can see straight away quite a few similarities. At the moment though, no official name has been revealed for this plane just yet, but as you guys can see in this screenshot, a few features we can point out. It has 2 weapons or turrets, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it also drops bombs. So I'd be very surprised if this thing costs any less than $5 million once released next week. But moving on to the 10th and final new vehicle, if you could even classify it as one, that Rockstar showed off in the trailer, this being the Jetpack. The item we've all wanted to see in GTA 5 since 2013 when the game was first released. There are loads of teases and Easter eggs in the game files and directly in the game itself, all pointing towards this, and at last Rockstar are releasing this in the game. And as a result, because there is so much hype and anticipation for this, it will be expensive. There is no doubt about this. I'd be very, very surprised if Rockstar charge any less than $3 or $4 million for this, but it's also worth pointing out in this first screenshot, the jetpack is completely standard, but in this second one, in a different scene shown off in the trailer, as you guys can see towards the knees of the character, you can see missile launchers. So this thing will be upgradable, there'll be customization options available for it, so even though it may only cost $3 or $4 million to buy, there will be a load of upgrade cost on top of that. But there's one final thing worth discussing in this video, the price of the new business properties. Now unfortunately in this trailer, we haven't really been shown all that much about these new properties. We've only seen two rooms so far, that being the conference room and this sort of surveillance room. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a lot more to this, such as a vehicle warehouse where we can store the new vehicles from this update. Maybe somewhere as well to customize our weapons. We also saw a number of different Mark II weapons shown off in this trailer, so I'm pretty sure we'll have a weapons workshop as well. Now most business properties in the game start from around about $1 to $1.5 million and cost upwards of $5 million with all the upgrades on top. So I'd imagine these properties will be very much the same based upon their locations and whatnot. Anyway, so there we go. There are loads of new items coming to the game with this update, but it'll be very, very expensive. I estimate it's going to cost at least $50 million, maybe even more, to buy and customize everything from this, as well as getting all the clothing items, the new weapons, and stuff like that. And that's just the content Rockstar has shown off so far in this trailer. I'm pretty sure there are vehicles they haven't shown off, they'll be releasing in future weeks during special events. So if you guys haven't got loads of money saved up now, you've got a few days to do so. There are still some double money and RP opportunities online and plenty of the ways to make money in the game. So get saving if you haven't done so already, so you guys can take advantage and have some fun with this content once it's released next week on Tuesday, December 12th. And with that being said, that's pretty much it then for today's video. I of course want to get your thoughts and feelings on all of these estimations. Do you guys think I am right or wrong? If you guys have any different theories, of course go ahead and let me know by leaving a comment. If you guys could drop a like, it would of course be greatly appreciated and it helps me out a lot as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 content. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, I will see you guys next time.